All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and I have with me my co-host, my partner in crime,
Kelly eCom on board.
And we come to you every Monday with e-commerce news, tips, and more. But before we get into it, and today's topic is what to sell in April, and also what are some of the things you should be doing in April. So with that, before we get into it, Kelly, I saw your post. Congratulations.
Yeah.
She has done an amazing job. Kelly is on a journey. And now she's got to buy new scrubs because she's lost a little bit of weight.
Mm-hmm.
I on the
little over 30 pounds since last year. I'm doing it slow and steady. I'm not doing any kind of crazy diet that I can't follow for the rest of my life.
There you go. I'm with you on that one.
So, I started listening to a podcast, Lose 100 Pounds with Corinne.
Okay.
So, and she really talks about learning your body and not let that negative talk get in your head and unlearning all those quote diet rules we've learned, growing up and everything. So, I've been like, that's been on my car whenever I go anywhere. I will say language warning.
Okay. Okay.
For anyone.
I'm assuming she spells with the C, Corinne, Corian or something, A-N-E or something like that. Okay. All right.
But I went all the way back to the beginning of her. She lost 100 pounds and she's kept it off for like 15 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, maybe I need to listen to her. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you. I have, this past week was April Fool's Day, and someone did a post about Amazon eliminating, lowering seller fees by 30%, which was hilarious. On April Fool's Day, I was like, oh, that's a good one, because I was doing a Google search looking for it. So I was like, no, they didn't. But that was a good April Fool's post. I will say that. And then I have been working with my boys. Since it's April, it's Autism Awareness Month. And so with that, just talking about this journey that I'm on and stuff I need to do, they are happy to be away from me right now because I've been putting them through it. April is always a reminder of what skills they don't have and how far we have come, but also how far we haven't. And so it's just a reminder every single time. And then I get on my kick of these are all the skills we need to develop and what's on my checklist and where are we on the checklist. And anyway, so bless their hearts. I feel bad because I need to relax, but yeah, it's a lot to be on this journey. And I know I'm not the only person that's on it. So, but it's still a lot. It's still a lot. And Tony's graduating next year, not this year. Nicholas will be graduating some years after that because he can stay in the school up to age 22. So it's just a lot of skills to develop, but I know I'm not the only parent. So anyway, happy Autism Awareness Month to all those parents who have a child that's on the spectrum, and know that you are not alone. Trust me on that one. So with that, Miss Kelly, I'm going to let you have the floor while I pull up the news that I found this week.
All right. We'll start with Walmart. They're expanding their return from home feature for Walmart Plus members, which allows Walmart Plus members not to have to go back to the store to return something. If they want to return something, they can just have Walmart will send out a delivery driver to, because the Walmart has their own delivery driver program. They don't go through most places. They're not going through DoorDash or Uber or anything. They have their own Walmart Spark drivers. And they're going to have these delivery drivers pick up the returns, and the delivery drivers will drop them off at Walmart, and you'll get your refund. I'm a Walmart Plus member, and I had one item that I wanted to return because I It came to my house as a delivery, and I picked it up. I do was one of those curbside pickup thing, and I got home and the box was empty. Like I opened it up and there wasn't. Someone had, I guess, done a 5-figure discount with it and put the box back on the shelf. And so I was like, I need to return this. It was empty, and they just refunded me. Didn't even want me to bring it back. I'm like, empty box. I was like, good. Save me a trip. But yeah, so they're doing that. They're also making it harder for drop shippers by tightening the handling time policy.
Yep.
So yeah, just if you're
Yep,
selling
I
on
heard about
Walmart,
that.
just be aware of that.
Yep.
Amazon's getting sellers telling them it's time to get prepared for Prime Day, but they
Yep.
haven't really revealed any when Prime Day it's going to be. But usually it's in July, beginning of July, end of June time.
Yeah, we're guessing that it's going to be somewhere around July the 12th or 13th, because it was around the 12th or 13th last year, and then prior to COVID it was around the 12th or 13th. So it's more than likely going to be that second Monday and Tuesday of July, but there's nothing etched in stone. So yeah, but that's the prediction right now, July the 11th and 12th. So I'm going to go look up that on the calendar somewhere off in there.
Okay. They started doing a new warning on their site to warn shoppers of items that are frequently returned.
Yep.
So that way, I guess if you think you get one thing and it comes back and it doesn't work like it's supposed to, and everyone's returning it, kind of give you a heads up. Maybe I need to find another item.
Yep.
Etsy sent out a letter, kind of freaked out a lot of the sellers. Apparently they had a suit with cashmere and camel, and they decided that any seller that used the word cashmere or camel in any of their words, they needed to give them a warning. But it wasn't like official, like, we're gonna take your shop down, but it did scare a lot of sellers. They're like, what did I do? You didn't even tell me what I did. It's like very vague letter. I did not get it because I don't think I ever sold anything with those words in it. But yeah, so there's a lot of people like, they talk about, I don't even sell anything that has to do with cashmere.
Wow. Okay.
Mercari's are adding media mail. Yay! They're adding a media mail option for books and such. Because anytime I've sold books or music or anything that can go media mail, I would do ship on my own and just add in about $4 to the price to cover the shipping. But of course, then Mercari does the price down thing, but now you can do media mail on Mercari. They added that as an option. But
all right.
Now if they can only add the option of being able to use my thermal printer on there, I'd be even happier. They're also making a first class envelope for like the sale trading cards like eBay has, so that you're not having to pay $4 to ship a baseball card or a Pokemon card or such. So, and that's all. Well, let me see what I had from last week, since I had a power outage last week. And we lost power for 3 hours. And it's like, really? Because you know what happened Wednesday? I had solar panels put in.
Really? Oh my God. Are you serious? Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, man, I could have been helpful on Sunday. But my husband's like, I don't know if it'd run the whole house on with the panels, you know.
Oh my gosh, that is ironic and also funny at the same time. I don't know. Oh my
Let's see.
god.
For last week, it's the Amazons. They're offering a new way to report product imaging problems. So if you have a product that you sell and you see there's some problems with the images on there, you can report those. Or like I had one time, I had a product that a bundle I had made, and someone went in and changed the image on me. I'm like, wait. I
Yeah.
made that.
I have had that many times. Somebody but I know that when the image is an improvement, that they will allow the new image if they consider it an improvement. That I do know, but I don't know. I don't know what your image looked like. So
All right. And on Etsy, they're doing more advertising on TV and billboards to telling sellers that they will focus more on improving traffic to their shops this year, which I hope, well, I say that, but I have really not listed this last couple of weeks. It's just been, it's like I plan to, and then stuff comes up, and or just things happen and life happens and power goes out and
yeah, all kind of stuff happens. Trust me.
hmm.
Yep, I agree, 1000%. Life has been happening a lot.
Also, they're holding its annual seller event, Etsy Up, on May 18th virtually. So just keep an eye out for that. And they're also testing make an offer style feature on certain, mostly vintage item listings in the US. So they can like have, they don't have right now like eBay, best offer
Mhm.
available. So they want to try that out too. They don't want to try it out on handmade stuff because, people work hard for that and they have their, uh, how much their supplies cost and everything, but vintage is different than, you know, a handmade item.
Yeah.
And that's all the news I have.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen and let me make it. All right. So the first thing is what Kelly was talking about before. This comes to us from The Verge, and Amazon is starting to flag frequently returned products that you maybe shouldn't buy. So if you look at the example, they're showing you that there's an orange box there and it says frequently returned item. Check the product details and customer reviews to learn more about this item. So if it's an item that's been returned a lot, they're trying to give everybody a heads up before they buy it. That could be a bad thing. So your goal is not to sell those things, guys. That's the case. Try not to sell these. So anyway, this article is in The Verge, but it's also in several other places as well. I've seen it pop up in my news feed. So just be mindful of it. It matters to you if you sell on Amazon. It also matters if you're a person that sometimes buys things from Amazon, because I know that there are Amazon flippers out there. So just a heads up on both of those. The next article comes to us from the New York Times. And this article is about when is Prime Day. So again, there is no hard, fast rule on when Prime Day is going to come, but there are some thoughts that it's going to happen around July the 11th and 12th of this year. So just going off of the pattern from previous years, ignoring 2020 and also what happened in 2019, just going back to what it was prior to that, that is what the prediction is. So if you want to make those notes now, that's great. The other thing is, since you kind of have an idea that it's coming for those people who sell on Amazon, or even if you don't sell on Amazon, this is a good time to start getting ready because, again, you have to know that the traffic that's going to be driven to online is going to affect all of the platforms because, again, a rising tide raises all ships. So that includes whatever platform you're selling on. It's going to get a little more attention and a little more traffic around July the 11th. So you want to be ready. You want to go ahead and start getting your listings together, probably getting, if you haven't already ordered your supply of inventory, get it in now and get your listings up. I would have my listings up anywhere from 2 to 3 months before the July the 11th date, if you could, so that way, May the 11th, June the 11th, so that you're ready to rock and roll. And if you are sending inventory in to a fulfillment center, I would definitely send that inventory in at least by the beginning of June, so it's in position to be able to take advantage of the traffic that's going to come to all platforms around the July the 11th. So we'll be on the lookout to see what's going to happen on Walmart, because they're probably going to have their own version of Prime Day. And then, what's going to happen on Target and what's going to happen at Home Depot and Lowe's. I mean, like all the platforms, Best Buy, they're all going to do something in July, or some maybe even before July, because I think last year Walmart did theirs a few weeks before that. So just be prepared. If you're a seller, be ready for that. As a matter of fact, I will go and look and see if there's anything for Walmart. We'll talk about it in next week's session, so that way you already know if you're a Walmart seller, you got a heads up. The next thing I wanted to point out was that the White Label Expo is coming to Vegas May 3rd and 4th. So this is an opportunity for those people who like to do semi-private label, where they, superimpose their brand and their logo onto an existing product and maybe make some slight modifications to it and call it private label. But in any case, if you are a person that likes to do that, find products, source products, then you don't want to miss the White Label Expo. It's going to be something to check out. So you can just do a Google search on White Label Expo right now and find out about tickets and all of that. Make your reservations. Vegas is always fun. So, be prepared for that. It is a mid-week kind of thing. So be prepared for that as well. Then Kelly mentioned Etsy Up. If you're selling on Etsy, you have listings on Etsy, go ahead and you can do a search for Etsy Up, or you can go to etsyup.com. Go ahead and get registered. It's a virtual event. As you know, eBay does their own virtual events as well. They're going to have their summer check-in somewhere close to that same time frame, within a couple of weeks. So I think it's like, the 25th of May or something like that. And it's online as well. So stay tuned in to eBay's fan page. Also stay tuned in to the emails that you receive from eBay. But yeah, Etsy Up, check it out. The next article comes to us from a Digital eCommerce 360, and it's talking about an Amazon consultant pleads guilty and giving sellers a competitive advantage. So this person has been known for many, many years by many, many, many different people. And so on March the 30th, they plead guilty to an Amazon bribery scheme that gave online sellers the competitive advantage of worth over $100 million. So this is very interesting. There was 5 defendants, it looks like, and Ed Rosenberg was the final holdout in these 5 U.S.-based defendants accused of paying off Amazon employees in exchange for confidential company data. Among other things, is the data that helped them to steer their business to some merchants and shut out their competitors. So this, it said that began in early 2017. This had been going on for a while. And it's very interesting because that name is well known for those people who sell on Amazon or have attended any summits or anything like that. Like, his name is well known. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing is that Shop Talk, this also comes to us from Digital E-commerce 360, and they just had their event, and at their conference that was in Vegas in March, there were a few things, three top things that they talked about. One of them is that AI is everywhere. If you don't know right now, you can use AI to help you create your listings. You can use AI to help automate things. You can use AI to help generate new product ideas. There is so much that AI can do to help you in your business as an e-commerce seller. So the one of the takeaways was AI is everywhere at this conference. The next one is video and live streaming have potential. Well, they've had potential for quite some time. So people have been using video to drive traffic, to affiliate links, to drive for products, especially with TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Lots of video opportunity there. And then some of the other platforms that have video shopping, again, they've been getting traffic, continuing to build their place in the e-commerce space and getting more traction and getting more followers. So if you haven't seen the home shopping network type of lives that have been happening, like there's a lot of that's been happening, and there's just a lot of opportunity if there are products that you want to sell. And then the last one is that the secondhand market is growing. This has been a topic. Kelly and I talked about it last year, and we're talking about it again this year. Like they've continued to be a growing market. And for those that are resellers, like we've known this for years. So as Kelly talks about vintage, like there's so many products in the secondhand space, and it's been a thing for a long, 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 long time. So again, those are the top three things that were the takeaways from the Shop Talk event that was in March. And, helpful to know. Use that information to help you to make decisions for the rest of the year. And depending on what it is, your e-commerce method is and what platforms you sell on. So with that, we're going to go ahead and transition over to today's topic. And today's topic is 9 things to do and sell in April. So there's either 9 things to do or sell in April. So you don't want to overlook it. So I will let Kelly take number 1 if you're ready, Kelly.
Oh, your taxes. Yay. I need to do mine. But this isn't just your federal income taxes. If you have your state quarterly taxes, your sales taxes, all of those taxes, you should be doing it. And you should. I should start doing this. I'm bad about it. But you should, keep up with your tax information all year long so that you're not trying to rush at the end of
the year to pull the stuff together. Yes, yeah. I know. Yes.
Preaching to the choir,
huh? Yes, Kelly. So guys, work on your taxes. I know that I've been working on them. I have a crazy, insane schedule, and I'm like, okay, I only have 2 weeks to pull off a miracle. So anyway, I think the good thing is, if I read correctly, that because the 15th is on a Saturday, that your deadline is the 17th. I think that is still correct.
Yes.
I will do that Google search one more time just to reconfirm, so you don't have to freak out or flip out because you don't have your taxes done by the 15th. The other thing is that, if you want to reduce your stress, I'm just going to say this. I am not a tax expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I would file an extension just so you can reduce your stress if you feel like you're not going to be able to make it in the next 2 weeks. Go ahead and file for your extension now so that way you can relax and breathe and do it right so that you're not freaking out. Just a suggestion. The next one is you should be sourcing for Q2. Now we're in Q2. I mean, we're in the beginning of April, but there's other months that are in the month of April. And so there's May and June, and you should be sourcing for Q2. You should also be sourcing for Q3, if I'm going to be honest. But, go ahead and source for May and source for June. of the things that you plan on selling and listing in May and June. If you've gone back and looked at your stats and data from last year, you know what you should have in hand. And I would be ordering that stuff this week if I were you. So go ahead. Again, that's what you should be doing, is you should be sourcing for Q2. You could also, again, source for Q3 to knock it out. And while we're at sourcing for Q2, you should also be sourcing. Well, we'll get into it. There's another thing. All right, go ahead, Kelly.
Learn a new skill. I mean, right now, this is Q2 is kind of a slower quarter than the other quarters. It kind of slowing down. You got people starting to get gearing up for vacations and such. So it's a good time to start to learn a new skill so you can implement it for quarters 3 and 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree, Kelly. Let the church say amen. That's right. She is so right. Come on, guys. You need to, if there's something you need to tweak in your business, is there something you need to fix? If there's something you need to learn, if there's a skill you need to develop, or something new you want to learn, or you want to try something new, Q2 is the time to do it. So you need to get on the ball, pull it together, learn what you need to do so that you're ready to rock and roll for Q3 and Q4. That's all I'm saying. You need to decide which events you want to attend in Q2 and Q3. This is a good time to be thinking about the future, setting aside that money to be able to travel. And again, any education towards your business is a tax write-off. So you've got the courses that you take or the events that you go to and the travel expense associated with that, including meals. Like, again, consult a tax expert, but your education and things that are furthering your education, those are things that you can write off if you can prove that that's what it's towards. So Q2 and Q3, there's a few different events. We already mentioned the white label event. There's a couple of others. I think a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Pinterest is having a tour. List Perfectly is done. They were just recently here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Like, there's going to be different events that are coming up that are either Amazon related, eBay related, eCommerce related. And so you need to decide what you're going to attend so you can either start saving up that money, setting it aside, or budgeting to use that money in the future. So.
Graduation items. Like I said, graduation is coming up. I don't have any graduates this year because all my kids have graduated, but everyone wants to do a big graduation parties for college, even kindergarten graduations and high school graduations. And so there's always graduation items at the stores that you can bundle and make party bundles, or even if someone lives far away from a relative that's graduating and they want to send them something, you can make like a graduate, congrats the grad bundle for them to send to them, like a little care box or such. And also start thinking about things the graduate will need when they go on to like college, and bundles for dorms in college. But that's another podcast right there. So.
Yes it is. Bundles is a great one. We should just do that one in one of our podcasts. All right, you should be selling for Mother's Day and Father's Day. That's something you should be doing now. You should put those listings up now so that you can start getting those sales. Now, I will tell you, again, this is US-based Mother's Day and Father's Day, because other countries have different dates for their Mother's Day and Father's Day, if you don't know that. So the UK had their Mother's Day in March, and I don't remember exactly when the UK's Father's Day is. I'm sure I could flip through my book and figure it out. But, and if you have the My eCom Planner, then you can flip through it and it'll tell you what the international holidays are. So Mother's Day, Father's Day, for sure, you should be selling for those coming up.
Of course, summer and outdoor items. I mean, we're down here in Texas, so It's already starting to be nice and warm. People are planting their gardens. So garden stuff, outdoor stuff for kids. Baseball started, soccer started. Um, you know, outdoor track and spring football starting up. So you have all these sports starting. Everyone's getting out of the house. They've been working out and maybe they've lost some weight and they need to get smaller clothes, smaller summer clothes. So they want to look for that. I say, all right, too late because unless you get a priority, but Easter items like Easter dresses and such, and
Yeah.
then in the summer there's always lots of weddings. Everyone
Yes.
likes wedding stuff. So
I would say those little Easter dresses, you can definitely double those and use them again for weddings because
mm-hmm.
especially the cute little Easter dresses for the kids that have to be either in a wedding or attend a wedding with you. So anything that's Easter related, I think you should still list those things, especially if it's clothing and tied, in some way, because of the fact that, yeah, you do have all of these June weddings coming up, May, June weddings. And so it's going to be lots of flowers and things like that involved. So something to think about, finding those items because they're going to be on clearance here in a minute. And we are talking about repurposing them for something else. Same thing with like Valentine's Day, like whatever was out in Valentine's Day, buying those things on clearance and repurposing it for Mother's Day. Yeah.
Especially with the economy right now, people want to find ways to reuse items.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and then outdoor items, again, think about the pool, think about camping, all of that fun stuff. And summer, well, I think the next one is mine. Okay, so no, learning and education items. So, workbooks, things that are going to keep kids busy this summer. Parents are already probably panicking because spring break season is over. And so they're panicking because summer is going to come blazing in just a few seconds. So we are 6 weeks before school is out, and then school is going to be out for 11 weeks. Let me just tell you, there are parents that are out there freaking out right now. So they've got to find things and do things to keep the kids busy this summer. So learning and educational items, workbooks, coloring books, mazes, puzzles, Wordle, whatever games, so that the kids don't regress and aren't on their electronics the entire time. And it allows them the opportunity to potentially interact with other people, especially if parents are like working out a deal with other parents going, hey, I'll keep them on Mondays and Tuesdays and you keep them on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so your house becomes the community house. Educational games. So think about all of that to keep kids busy this summer.
Travel related items. So, summer's coming up. Everyone's, might be planning to travel to go to graduations or go to weddings, like we talked about, or just go on vacation. And they might need to have those, they like, oh, you know what? I need a bit better carry-on bag, or I have this nice dress I need to have that special hanging bag for. So then I might need to have those, or then I have the little airline size bottles for their travels, so they don't have their expensive stuff thrown down because it's too large.
Yeah, nothing like buying a $5 bottle of water from the airport and it's only 8 ounces. Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are traveling again. I think with, we all are coming. We are not. Oh, COVID is not over, so we know that. But a lot of us are coming off of, hey, I'm ready to go out and continue to go out. And so last summer, people started picking up their travel. I think this summer they're really going to pick up their travel because the statistics around COVID are continuing to drop. And so people are going to feel more comfortable with taking that cruise they didn't take the previous years, and going on that trip to, overseas or somewhere that they've never gone, doing that Amtrak ride across the United States, or that bus, that Greyhound bus ride, whatever it happens to be, they're going to be traveling more. So you want to make sure that if you're not selling those items, or if your private label product in some way is part of that area, or if you're reselling products, like reselling suitcases and reselling backpacks and reselling, travel kits and reselling whatever, that's an opportunity. So anything that's travel related, definitely pull those things out and list them now. So I guess I probably should have named this like list it now, not just sell it, like list it now. All right. So with that being said, I do want to invite you, if you're not really sure what to sell, I invite you to sign up for the eCom Sellers Academy RAOA leads list, the Arbitrage leads list. You can get 200 leads every single month. They're $50 a month, so you get 50 leads every single week. These are leads that are researched and then researched again and then researched a third time before they go out. The minimum ROI is at least 30%, but the average ROI is way above that. And so the goal again is to send out things where the ROI is 50% and 60% and 70%. And if you're a person that wants to stay busy, if you don't want to have to figure out what to sell in Q2, you can get the Arbitrage leads list and use it to help you to find those hidden gems, find those bundle opportunities or multi-pack opportunities, help you to find those products that maybe there's some white label ideas there. So you can get the Arbitrage leads list and turn it into cash money for you and your e-commerce business. You go to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads. Again, ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads. If you go directly to eCom Sellers Academy, there's a button that says get 200 leads a month. You click on that button, it'll take you directly to the page as well. We want you to know that we are still in the middle of our print on demand class. If you are a person that wants to master print on demand, we are on session 3, where we are creating our printable and downloadable products. So there's still an opportunity for you to join the print on demand mastery course. We're covering everything in print on demand mastery, from printable and downloadable products to selling physical products, to doing the designs for the physical products, to selling books and getting your book listed on KDP or using another printer like Lulu. We are covering everything soup to nuts that's print on demand related. So that is the reason why it's called Print on Demand Mastery. We're also teaching automation. We're going to be going over AI automation in print on demand, so that in that instance, like, you're almost 100% hands-free. And if you want to be 100% hands-off, or at least 95% hands-off, you can hire a VA, which is going to be covered in session 10. So my point is, sign up for the eCom Sellers Mastery course. It's a great way to get into the e-commerce space without actually handling products or touching products or doing anything with physical products. You can go to bit.ly/ and this is all in caps, POD Mastery. Again, POD MASTREY and TERY, and sign up today so that you can go through the exercises with us as we take our printable products and create our listings for the first time. So we are in session 3, moving on to session 4. There is still time to join the course. If you haven't already gotten your e-commerce planner, I do invite you, since you are now in Q2, if you want to tighten up your game, be a little more consistent, this is the window in which to be consistent. This is the window to build up your consistency, endurance, or improve your productivity. If you are a person that's challenged with your productivity, then you want to grab the e-commerce planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com and change the game on your Q2 100% by using the e-commerce planner and increasing your productivity. You can use it to plan it, source it, list it, and profit. So get the ultimate e-commerce planner at myecomplanner.com. And if you sign up for eCom Sellers Academy Lifetime, you get a free e-commerce planner. So you can go to ecomsellersacademy.com right now to sign up for a lifetime membership and get an ecom planner absolutely free. So with that, let me get back to my window here. Okay. So Kelly and I are back. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So my name is Nicole Whitlock.
I'm Kelly, the eCom Mom Award.
This has been the eCom Sellers Podcast. We do this every Monday at around 6 p.m., although we're changing the time. It is intended to be a blessing to you and your business, where we cover e-commerce news, tips, and more. Tune in again next week for another episode of the eCom Sellers Podcast. And we are going to say goodbye for now.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Share this out with a friend.